How much money you need to have as a down payment to buy a home in New York City? This is one of the frequently asked questions, mostly when working with the first-time home buyers. What is up, everyone? My name is Sargis, a licensed real estate agent based here in New York City. This channel is all about New York City real estate. Now, before we start the video, hopefully you know that the cost of buying a home is never just the down payment. You also have to budget for your closing costs and other miscellaneous fees depending on your specific transaction. But today's video is going to be short, just to answer the question how much money you need to put down to buy a home in New York City. If you want to see more comprehensive closing cost breakdown, just check the description below. I have a detailed video about all other closing costs when buying a home in New York City. To be able to answer the question about the down payment, first you have to know what type of property you're looking to buy. In New York City residential market, mostly you see three types of properties. Those are townhouses, condominiums that are also known as condos, and cooperative corporations that are also known as co-ops. Sometimes you might see one more type of building called a condo. A townhouse most often refers to a single family or 2 to 4 unit attached row house. If you're familiar with Manhattan, you've probably seen an entire row of townhomes on a single block in East Village, West Village, Upper East Side, Upper West Side, and several other areas. In Brooklyn, Queens, and Bronx, you can also see a single family or a multi-family detached homes that sit on their own property lot and they don't share any common walls or spaces with other properties. This is what a traditional house looks like that you can see pretty much everywhere in the country except in Manhattan. People who buy a townhouse or a house are responsible for everything, including payment of real estate property taxes directly to the New York City Department of Finance, as well as all the repairs and maintenance. I'm not going into the details about condos and co-ops since I already have that covered in my previous videos. If you're not familiar with those, just watch my videos, everything about condos and co-ops. Links are in the description below. And when it comes to the fourth type of ownership that is called a condo, there are not a lot of condos in New York City, but occasionally you might encounter with this type of building if you're searching for an apartment for sale. As you might have guessed from the name, this is a hybrid ownership structure that includes both. Here, the residential portion is treated as a single condominium owned through a cooperative ownership structure, and the commercial portion is one or more separate condominiums. I know this sounds confusing, but just to simplify, in practice, for most condos, the residential portion is a co-op where you buy shares in a corporation, but it operates more like a condo when it comes to its policies and requirements. For example, some condos I have seen don't require a board interview and they have flexible sublet policies. Not to complicate today's video, I'll make a separate video about condos. The point is, your down payment requirement depends on what you're buying. The least complicated buying experience you'll have is when you're looking to buy a townhouse or a house. Since in this case, everything is between the buyer and the seller, and there is no board of directors or additional building requirements. Now, I'm not saying it's easier to buy a townhouse than a condo or a co-op. It's just you don't have to go through a board package, interview, and building approval process. In this case, if the seller is okay with whatever financing you can get from your lender, you should be good to go. Your down payment depends on the type of the loan product that you're qualified for, the purpose of your purchase, and your specific situation. On the other hand, co-ops are known for having a strict financial requirements. They have caps on a percentage that you're allowed to finance in the building. The common down payment requirement for a co-op is 20 to 30%. Mostly you'll see 20%. There are a few co-ops that may allow 10% down payment, but I haven't seen anything lower than that. But I have seen buildings that require as high as 50% down payment. Co-ops also require you to have at least 1 or 2 years of your maintenance and mortgage payments in your bank account after you've paid your down payment and closing costs. This is called post-closing liquidity. This is not a payment, but you have to show them that you have the funds available in your bank account in order to be approved. 2 years post-closing liquidity is generally considered safe to have, but it depends on the building. If they're not too strict about this, you might be approved if you have a little bit less than 2 years. Generally speaking, condos don't have strict financial requirements and they don't qualify the buyers based on their financials. Some condos may have a minimum down payment requirement, which mostly is 10%. If the condo doesn't have a minimum down payment requirement, your specific situation, the purpose of your purchase, and the type of the loan product that you're qualified for will determine how much money you need to put down. Generally speaking, the more money you put down, the less will be your monthly mortgage payments and the more attractive your offer will be to the seller. But you also don't want to empty your bank account and put everything you have toward your down payment. The decision should be a combination of the building's requirements, the type of the loan product that you're qualified for, the purpose of your purchase, meaning are you buying a primary residence, a vacation home, or an investment property. Also, your specific situation and how many other offers you're competing with. The most important thing when you're looking to buy a home in New York City is to work with a great team of professionals such as your real estate agent, your real estate attorney, your mortgage broker, or your loan officer. If you're working with the right team, they will help you and guide you through the process and make sure that you're not only buying the right apartment in terms of the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage, but you're also buying in the right building that has healthy financials and is properly maintained. That's it for today's video. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions. Also, you can find my contact info in the description of this video. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need any assistance. If this video was helpful, just by clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel will be a huge favor. Thank you for watching. Until next time.